Hello and welcome everyone. In this chapter, we are going to see the configuration of IP addresses in the routers and the PCs. Since we have already seen the topology design in the previous lecture, so let's get started with the configuration. So first of all, I will go ahead and configure the PCs here. Say for example, click on the PC 0, go to desktop. To configure the IP addresses, go to desktop and click on the IP configuration and click on this and configure. So the IP addresses will be according to the topology 192.168.1.1, of course, yes. Subnet mask, default subnet mask, and the default gateway, as we have already discussed, 1.100 will be the default gateway for this. So that's it for the PC 0. You configure IP address, default subnet mask, and configure the default gateway as well. Similarly, I need to configure the same for PC1 and all other PCs. So click on PC1, go to desktop, IP configuration, go to this and configure it. So it's 1.2 and 1.100 is the default gateway. Like this, IP address, subnet mask, and the default gateway you need to configure. Now, configure PC2 now. Go to desktop, IP configuration. Good. 192.168.1.3 subnet mask and default gateway. Done. Like this. After this, I will go to these PCs and configure the same. So I will click on this. Go ahead and configure. The process remains same. 192.168.2.1 and 2.100 is the default gateway for this. Okay. Just to verify, you see here. This is IP address and this is your default gateway. Fine. So that's what we have written down the default gateway as well. So now I'll go ahead and click on PC4 and configure the IP address. You see the IP address is now. It will be 2.2 and the default gateway will be 2.100. That's it. Go to this PC5 as well, desktop, click on IP and configure. 192.168.2.3 and 2.100 is the default gateway. Done. So this is how you configure the IP addresses for your PCs. Done. After this, I will have to configure the switch, correct? Make sure in switches no configuration is needed as of now. You no need to change anything in the switches. These switches are right now, let's say, plug and play. No configuration is required. So what to do the next process? The next process will be you need to configure the routers now. So go ahead and click on this router. And of course, you know that how to access the router. So you will have to go ahead and click on CLI here and see we have got the routers interface here. After that, I need to configure the routers here. See. So first of all, you will say the no, enable, and then configure terminal. After this, I will have to say let me configure first the host name here. Host name as, let's say, router 1, like this. Done. And then I will configure the interface. So interface fast Ethernet 0x0. Then I'll say the IP address 168.1.100 and subnet mask will be this. Done. After this, I need to put up the no shutdown. That's it. No shutdown. That's it. Exit. No other configuration is required. IP address, no shutdown. Done. Then interface serial 0x0x0. I have configured fast Ethernet, this one. Now I will configure the serial 0x0x0 as well. Then I'll say IP address 10.0.0.1, let's say I'm configuring 1, and then the subnet mask will be like this. And then I'll say no shutdown, exit, exit. Done. I'll save the configuration as well by giving WR command, write command. If you want to verify the interface's IP address, So you can define the command show IP interface brief. Show IP interface brief. In this you can see fast Ethernet 0 by 0 is up. Your serial 0 by 0 also is up. But you see it is showing down because we have configured the router 1. Router 2 is still not configured. So once you configure router 2 serial 0 by 0 by 0, the status will come to up for this also. We'll do the cross verification after some time. Let me do one thing. As we configure the IP addresses of this one here, so it is all about this one, right? 10.0.0.1 and here 10.0.0.2. This is what the IP addresses I have configured for this, and of course yes, I'll just mark it as here so that it becomes easier to understand as well. That's it. Now I'll go to this router and configure the IP addresses for this as well. So the process remains same. You need to say no here and then enable configure terminal, and then I'll configure the host name first as my router 2. Done. After this, interface fast Ethernet 0 by 0, then define the IP addresses. You can define no shutdown IP address, anyone, no need to maintain the order here. 192.168.2.100 is the IP address, if you remember. 100 is the IP address, correct? Now after this 255.255.255.0, this is what you need to define here. Then you define no shutdown, then exit. Next configure the serial interface, serial 0 by 0 by 0, define no shutdown, define the IP address 10.0.0.2 and the subnet mask as this. Exit, exit. Then define the right command. Done. So this is how you can configure the IP addresses for your interfaces. After this, last show IP interface brief, you see here configured for the fast Ethernet, configured for the serial 0 by 0, and it is up. Similarly, when you verify your router 1, let's get back and verify. Get back to router 1. You see here we have got some of the log information here. Read this. Line protocol for serial 0 by 0 by 0 has changed the state to up. Basically it was down. Now you verify the same command here. Can you see now? Both are up. So this is basically your initial configuration of the topology. Of course, yes, we have configured and we have saved the configurations also. Let me just cross check and save this also. Of course, then we have saved the configurations. Once it is done, it is very much important that you go ahead and configure, save your topology as well. You can say that, hey, this is my demo topology. I have the many topology available here. So I'll configure a demo topology here. Just go ahead. Done. My topology is saved, which I will be using for my routing part in future lectures. So I hope you got the scenario. I hope you got the command that how you can go ahead and configure it. That's it for this particular lecture. Thank you. See you in the next.